Glad to know you're still there with us. And if you're just joining, you're very welcome. You're on to KAFTAN Television. We're reaching you from our headquarters in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The program is The Press. My name is Mikky, Attah, and right this moment, I am being joined by a guest in the studio, Comrade James Ezema. Comrade, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Monday morning.
Thank you very much. Nice being here.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll let you know a little bit more about him. But just before then, and about our lead topic this morning, just before then, though, it was good news on the NPFL over the weekend. In fact, just yesterday, when Remo Stars became the winners of the NPFL Cup. Okay, that's the first time I'm made to understand that a privately owned club, Remo Stars, will pick up the coveted trophy. And incidentally, Remo Stars won on Sunday, which was also the same day as the owner of the club, Chief Kunle Shoname. Chief Kunle Shoname was adding another year to his life. So it was a double celebration in Abeokuta for the Remo Stars, who have now picked up the cup. Essentially, they have 3 more games to go, but I mean, it's a clear win because they're 10 points ahead of their next contenders, Rivers United. So with 2 or 3 more games to go, it's a done deal. They are the winners. Congratulations to Remo Stars. And let me tell you something you did not know. The owner, Mr. Shoname, is also the man behind Bet Naija. Oh yes, don't say I didn't tell you, because I just did. Okay, so much for sports. Right now, we are going to delve into our main topic. And this morning, right ongoing at the moment, we have an engagement which is being carried out by none other but the number 4 citizen of Nigeria. Before I bite my tongue, the number 4 citizen of Nigeria, in the person of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, is going to have a multimedia, online social media engagement with the Nigerian youths. Now, this is really important because just this morning, you remember that we had a story from the Leadership newspaper, right? The Leadership newspaper said categorically, just I brought you a couple of minutes ago, there it is. It says there are concerns that all we're doing about 2027 is so much of campaigning and less of governance. So much campaign, less of governance. Well, we have to say that in the midst of all this political campaigning and all that, we have noticed that one Nigerian citizen has risen to the challenge, and that is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Right Honorable Tajuddin has said this morning he's going to have a multimedia engagement on all social media platforms, his personal platforms, his official platforms, and he's directly engaging the Nigerian youth. He's going to be talking about issues of government. He's going to be talking about issues of governance. In fact, on the bill this morning is that there's going to be a mock parliament, and then people can come online and actually present like a mock bill. So you'll be allowed, and the Speaker himself will address every issue that's brought up. This is a novel, of practically a new one. Nigeria has never seen a thing like that. Especially now, just this morning, there are calls. It shows you that over the weekend, over time, people are calling out, why all this politicking? Why nothing about governance? Now he's going to explain a whole lot about governance models, and this encapsulates what democracy stands for. Democracy, government of the people, for the people. So if you're a Nigerian youth, you want to hook up to all his social media handles, let me give you a little brief idea of what the key sessions are going to be this morning. Well, we have that the key sessions will cover topics including legislating for digital responsibility, curbing fake news, and promoting patriotism in the social media era. It's on that note, I will say once again, Sir James, you are the president of
The Association of Bloggers and Journalists Against Fake News.
Right. So we have in the studio live the president of the Association of Nigerian Journalists and Bloggers Against Fake News. Now, fake news has come out. You know, these are one of the problems. Like they say, technology will bring all these beautiful advantages, and then there'll be those little advantages behind. Fake news is one of the things that has come with technology. This is one of the key topics, the key sessions to be addressed by the Right Honourable Speaker this morning. So tell us, what is your opinion, first of all, on this novel approach to governance being carried out this morning by the Right Honourable Speaker?
I think the Speaker is actually attempting to redirect our attention from politicking to issues that has to do with governance, because all along we have had in the past in the past 2 years or thereabout has been politicking 2027. What are we actually who is going to win the 2027 election? How are we going to undo the sitting president? What are we going to do so that we can come together and become the most formidable party so that nobody can defeat us? These are the things that are going on, and nobody is actually talking about governance. And I think this is one of the departures from that focus of on politics of 2027, and then now going towards looking at the nitty-gritties of governance, and that is what we should be doing. And even before this administration got less than a year in office, we started this hearing of this 2027. Before you know it, their alliances, coalition, and things like that began to come up. And in all this, you begin to ask yourself, is it just about the citizens, or is it because some individuals feel that they have lost, a kind of grip of power, and they want to come together so that they can shoot themselves up there again and take hold of the offices that they so desired over the years. And you also begin to wonder, what those people who are even in the office, what are they doing? Are they actually trying to work things out to make life better for the ordinary citizen, or are they just there because they feel that there are some gains that they are going to be getting while remaining in office even after their tenure expires? So these are some of the issues that have been the dominating factors that have been taking up heating up the polity, as it were. But the fact that someone is now trying to make us look at something that seems to be different from what is the general norm now, I think is a commendable, and it is a good initiative that someone is trying to tell us that, look, there is issues of governance that we need to deal with, and that is what he wants to refocus Nigerians so that they can know, especially the young people, so that they can know how governance is done, and also know what are those things that make up the structure, or the mechanisms, or the workings of government, so to say. So I think it's a welcome development.
All right. It's you think it's a welcome development? Indeed, it's a novel approach. It has practically never been done, not even by a Nigerian president since the onset of democracy, and that is something that every Nigerian youth should look up to and should also hook up to this morning. Exactly. All right, another thing about it is that the engagement will break out into an interactive session there's a breakout interactive session between the public as well as other members of the House of Representatives. So it's just like he's holding the parliament, but this time it's not like between the speaker and the members of the House of Representatives. It's like it's between the parliament and the people. And these people particularly are the young people, the young Nigerians, the people who are most engaged actually on social media, the people who are busy pressing their phone, watching trending video. Today, leave trending video, pick your phone and look at issues in government which will affect you, because like they keep telling us, you the youth are the leader of tomorrow. They told that one to us. Let's just hope this time around they will really be the leaders of tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so like I said, there's an interactive breakout session between the public, those are the youths, and between members of the House, and the citizens will get a chance. Like I said earlier, they're going to present a mock bill. So you're going to be able to say, I'm such and such a person, I'd like to propose this bill. So you can talk about issues that are germane to you. You know, so you should be able to now present issues that, you know, like massive unemployment, youth unemployment, salaries, this issue of non-payment of minimum wage in a biting economy. We have so much to think about. I don't want to even talk about insecurity, because I mean, if you're not secure, you're not going to be struggling for salaries. Meanwhile, their own issues always seem to be around how are we going to suspend Natasha? How are we going to come on, how are we going to increase our jeeps and that kind of a thing, traveling and coming back? So these are some of the germane issues which the Right Honorable Speaker says he's going to address, as well as know how the workings of government go, because some things happen, like you know, when they go into like closed door sessions, they send the press out. When they go break out into committee sessions, of course the committees meet behind closed doors, then present the committee reports to the Speaker before it even gets out to us. So now he's going to break this down step by step. This is like, should I call it legislative class 001? You know, online legislative class. So I mean, I think this is a great one this morning, this Monday morning. Just as we're waking up to bad news that 14 farmers have been killed, 10 others killed, members of the security agencies 2 killed, and then we're now going to know how the National Assembly is operating, especially in the area of insecurity. Now, kudos must go to the House of Reps. The House of Representatives this time, you know, people keep saying, oh, the National Assembly now is just a rubber stamp. The National Assembly now is just, they're just saying everything Tinubu wants, Tinubu gets. But this House of Assembly stood up and passed a motion saying we need to declare a state of emergency in insecurity. We haven't had that. Even when Boko Haram was busy, you know, killing everybody, we didn't have that. We have that now. So we must say the House of Representatives, for what it's worth, you know, has been able to stand up to the plate so far. What's your opinion?
I believe that when you look at the 2 chambers, you will discover that if you look at the 2 chambers over time since the 10th Assembly, you will know that the House of Rep actually has been one of the, I would say, they have done far more better than the Senate, because we have less and less of some of these controversies that we have at the Senate level. We have less of them at the House of Rep level. And ordinarily, you will say that this House of Rep is a place where you have the younger men and women. And the ordinary, you will say that this is a place where rancor will be more. Yes, because you think of experience that is not there and things like that. But at the Senate level, where you have former governors, former senators, ranking senators and all that, you will still see somebody that have been in the Senate for like 20 years and things like that. They are there. But you are still having this kind of indecorum that we are seeing at the Senate level. Even some things that ordinarily, like if we were in my village meetings, you know, we would amicably resolve, and everybody goes on, you know, things matter, the community goes on with their activities. Nobody hears of anything. You see the thing coming up as a big issue that will now start dominating the national discourse. Something that ordinarily should have been resolved under the table and everybody go on. And that is what is happening in the Senate. But you don't see that at the House of Rep. At the House of Rep level, you see people who are actually looking as if they are more matured with handling state affairs than you see at the Senate level, and that is where we have issues. When people think that it is the older generation that will do better, that they have experience, or the younger generation do not have experience, and things like that. So we are now seeing a departure from that kind of belief that it is the more experience you have, the better you are going to perform. No, you see, the younger generation have innovations. They have a certain level of experiences, and they, you know, because of the tools that they have, at the technologies they have at hand at this moment, you will now see that some of the younger people, they have access to information. They have access to information that some of these older generation do not have access to.
And then the technical skills as well.
So yes, that is it. So you discover that this is actually helping, and that's why most times you see that governance and the reality on ground, if you want to match them, you will see that there's a meeting gap, because sometimes you see it seems the people in government don't actually understand what the people actually need. Their priorities are not the priorities of the people, and you begin to wonder why is that so. And that is because they are detached from the people. They are not close to the people. They don't even understand how the people are thinking. So what they are always thinking is about their elitist position. How do we sustain it? How do we remain in office, and things like that. But we are now seeing how the House of Representatives is presenting something that will generate ideas. I can tell you that after these sessions, you will see that ideas will be generated, that these people will actually understand how the young people are thinking, and what are their priorities, and what are those things that they want the government to do right now. So, and that is what we are talking about, that governance is not just about the government of the elite, by the elite, and for the elite. No, it is about the governance should be not just about the oldies. No, the young. When you talk about the people include all classes of the people, all the segment, all the both gender and everything. So you should not be talking about governance as if it is a male dominated affair, or is a female dominated affair. Feminism and the rest of them, everybody has a role to play in governance, and the interests of everybody should be captured in whatever policy the government is trying to execute.
And that's exactly what the speaker is trying to do.
That's what this is going to achieve.
Yes, because it has also been, they've also let us know that the event is multi-sectoral. It cuts across, just like you said. It's not about gender, it's targeted at the youths, but every Nigerian can hook up into it, and it's not about whether you're employed, whether you're a big man, or if you're an ordinary man. It's for everybody to take part in. Now, we also have the information that the Right Honorable Speaker Tajuddin Abbas has said that the event is coming with the theme is New Media Exchange 2025, and it is a first of its kind landmark gathering at the intersection of communication, technology, and governance. The theme of today's meeting is Smart Cities and Ethical Media, Navigating the Role of Policy in National Development. and it's going to bring together national as well as international players across the sectors. So it's not just media, it's also technology, business, and all of them. Now, the Right Honorable Speaker has given out a hashtag. It's hashtag Speakers New Media Exchange. Another one is hashtag Connecting Leaders. Another one is hashtag Inspiring Change. Real novel indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the Right Honorable Speaker this morning had said that one of the sessions, among the sessions they're handling this morning, is this one. Let me just peep. It says here, legislating for digital responsibility, curbing fake news, and promoting patriotism in the social media era. Now, you notice a whole lot of people. Well, let me not just say a lot, because it just takes very few to create a whole lot of problems. People just sit down in their homes and craft out stories and push them out. And once it starts trending on social media, I mean, it's a big blowout. People don't really bother to verify. That's why, you find a lot of responsible people always come to us, the mainstream media, because they know we would never put out any unverified information. But some other people are very gullible. They just look on social media and they say, oh, what's this? Oh, Gowon is dead. Oh, what a pity. There is Gowon balanced in his house. He even had his 90th birthday party the other time. So I'm just citing that as an example. Because your association is very involved in tackling fake news. So you just tell us about your experience.
Fake news is something that is not just about even the information that is put out there. It's also about the source of that information and what is the intent of the people who are putting out such information. We have seen all kinds of false stories and misleading stories, even sometimes misleading headlines.
Right.
That when you read, and most people, they don't actually read beyond the headlines. When they see a story, they will just look at the headlines. Based on that, I see a lot of them at newsstands, arguing based on headline of a story. But when you actually read the meat of the story, you will discover that it is not what they are thinking that the headline is portraying. So sometimes the way the headline is also cast, sometimes it becomes misleading if you are not ready to dig deep and actually understand what the issues are. So this is what it is. So fake news is actually with us. Is it in politics? Is it in education? In all sectors, we have one aspect of fake news. You even spoke of one now when our former head of state was they said, the former head of state, Gowon, was dead. And everywhere you will see the story trending in on so many social media platforms. Nobody cared to verify and things like that. And then there's even a living former head of state and former president who also, I think about 12 times he has also read about his own death about 12 times. That is former president Olusegun Obasanjo. His own death has been announced about 12 times. So this is what this fake information and fake news is all about. So people just want something that to trend for some reasons. Some are just want people to visit their site, and then some people want a large following on social media, and because of that they just send out information, and they will, before you know it, they're having different likes and things like that. So some of them are for economic reasons, some of them are for just for fun of it. For that there are some people you will see that they'll just craft something on their phone,
absolutely,
and then they'll just send.
Right.
And some information, I will read them. You see, people will just be forwarding. I say, look, this thing that you're forwarding has been shared 4 or 5 years ago, and you are still sending this information as if it just happened. Yes, especially within this period that we are having security issues, you will see that some of these people, they will just sit down and say, oh, DSS have said that XYZ number of people should live where they are because some people are coming, things like that. So they just craft whatever they think they should craft for whatever reason, and they will dish them out, and nobody cares to verify. And that is why we are worried, as an association, we are worried that this trend is continuing, and it is becoming more challenging, dealing with them, because most times even the government, I've not seen what the government have done in the recess of it to address this spread of fake news, really, because beyond the sometimes occasional press releases and statements and things like that, I've not seen any concrete thing that the government is actually doing to curb the spread of fake news, especially in terms of training the bloggers, educating, enlightenment campaigns and things like that. We are yet to see enough of activities that will lead to that reduction in the spread of fake news.
Well, I do see some should I call it campaigning going on the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. They are always warning, desist from fake news. There are always those little chip-ins of warnings. And but for your organization, is there like a site or somewhere people can click in and say, oh, this news is fake? Like, do you have a site you can just give it out so that if people spot fake news, they can just get across to you?
We are working on having a platform, for fake news, for information verification. We are working on that because the association is new, and we are working to get some of these things done. Well, at this initial time, what we are doing is that we are carrying out a campaign, trying to educate people, trying to get people to know what fake news is and what is the real news, and how they can actually know whether something, this information they have is fake or not, because there are other fact-checking platforms too that you can use to verify, especially if a story breaks and you didn't see that story on mainstream media, for instance, you should always think that probably this thing is fake, because if a news is breaking and is not on the mainstream media, then I don't know how you will think that that information is correct. There are several information that have been attributed to some international figures like Trump and the rest of them, and then you don't see them anywhere in any mainstream media.
Okay, so you've been carrying out a whole lot of campaigns. We would hope you continue, spread out these campaigns, because fake news is almost becoming like, give us this day our daily bread. You see something like, could that be true for real? You're not doubting information that's hitting you, and the information space is like, very fast. So for you to be able to find out which is which, like you rightly said, check in with the mainstream media. If it's breaking news, why would it break that way? All right. Well, like I said, the Right Honorable Speaker Abbas Tajuddin's program is ongoing at this moment. But right this moment, I would like to ask for the numbers to be up on the screen. Right, there they are, the magic numbers. Hit your phone with those numbers. Let us know what you have to say and what you have to contribute to the initiative this morning of an interactive session with the public, especially with the teeming Nigerian youths, by the Speaker of the 10th Assembly, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, on the media space, on fake news, as well as ability to present a mock bill. All right, those are the numbers you can engage. We're here also to engage with you. All right, comrade, you also have you're also a publisher, well, an online publisher. You have street reporters going on. So when how do you do your fact checking for street reporters? or you're on the streets doing the street reporting from the name.
We actually most of our stories is either we are the source of the story, or we have fact checked and found out that whatever information we want to dish out is true, and is not something that anybody can tomorrow think and say that this information is false. And when you even talk about fake news, there are like two types of issues there. You have disinformation and misinformation. So disinformation has to do with individuals, somebody deliberately just concocting falsehood and making those content, just dishing them out, just with a view to manipulate people's thinking and things like that.
Okay, that one is disinformation.
Yes, that is information. Disinformation.
Okay, which is misinformation?
Misinformation is when people either they just cook up something, either for monetary gain, either for
mischief.
Yes, for mischief. They just want to cause a kind of stare, make people believe that whatever they are dishing out is true, just for them to either get a click or like or share
popularity.
So that is it.
So many
but they don't realize
that
they don't realize that some of those things misinformation can even cause war, really. So it is something that fake news is something that we actually have to tackle as a people, not just leaving it for government and and organizations. Individuals too need to also work towards understanding the dangers associated with fake news, because communities can actually, because of fake news, go to war against each other.
Yes,
so that is why it is very, very dangerous for us to continue to condone fake news. We have been trying to reach out, connect with government agencies, media organizations, and we are working towards having a holistic approach.
All right. We have our first caller on the line. Morning, you're our first caller today. Very good.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning.
On to SND calling from Lagos now.
Hi, how's Lagos?
Well, we bless God, ma. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your response, especially regard of this fake news issue. Ma, let me be honest with you. Sometimes government activities, especially in this our democratic system, lack what I consider as continuity. We remember somewhere in July 2018, federal government of that time launched a campaign against fake news under the Ministry of Information. What happened then? Why do we lack this system of continuity in our government? Governance is a rolling activity. You can't just continue this way. Ever since that campaign, I think everybody welcomed the idea. But ever since the government goes away, even during the government meeting, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So when we have this coordination minister of economy and so on and so forth, I advocate on this coordination minister should be minister of information. So to coordinate the activities of media and both the stream and the internet and so on and so forth. Not only economic coordinating minister, the information ministry requires this coordination minister of information. Because we have all what it takes to regulate our activities. We can't just stand and say that social media has no regulation. Are we not human beings? We are human beings. We can make the regulation. We can regulate and do the needful thing. Fake news I don't know honestly speaking. Look at Uganda, look at, back to history, you will see the implication of fake news. So we can regulate. We are human beings. Okay. We have the regulatory agency.
Yes.
We have the NBC. We have the Nigerian Communication Commission. We have the NIGCOMSAT. We have them. So why can't we do it?
Right.
We can regulate. Thank you very much.
Just before I let you go, SMD, what is your opinion of this morning's initiative, which is the first of its kind, by the House of Representatives Speaker this morning?
It's a very good initiative, but my worry is the continuity. You know, we have systems, we have activities written in paper. You understand? The implementing them is the problem. That's the issue. Like I made mention, somewhere July 2018, they reached this campaign of fake against fake news. But it's written, it's only on written. We never see the action.
Okay.
That's the issue.
All right.
So the issue is implementation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Also, that is monitoring and evaluation.
Right.
Thank you very much. I really thank you from Lagos.
SMD raised a very good point. He said he is really in support of the initiative, but is there going to be continuity? Is it just going to be this one-off interactive session and then, you know, everything will be said and then it will end there?
That's actually one of the major challenges we have had in governance over the years. It's not just about this administration, last administration.
Yes.
Over the years, we have had this continuity. Even administration, when continuing with a particular program is always a challenge. You see that they will come up with a good initiative and following through to the end becomes a big challenge, very big challenge, and that is what we should try to, you know, do away with. That's why we talk about focusing on governance rather than the next election, so that at the end of the day, the people will have the benefit of democracy.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, why? Okay. Well, you were saying that your organization is very much involved in the aspect of fake news.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting you, as soon as you get out of the studio, to hook up and also put in your contribution in the area.
Sure.
Okay. Just before then, we have another caller here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Your name, where you're calling from?
What am I on to?
Who did you call?
Television editor.
Yes, now the television where you call, now we they speak. So let's have your name and where you're calling from.
Television when I call. Television when I call,
Now you make you they speak. They speak, they go.
Okay, now which television station is this?
KAFTAN Television. Let's have your name and your contribution.
KAFTAN Television,
Your name, your contribution.
I call what I want to contribute now.
Who wants to contribute? Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Delta State.
What's your name?
My name is Joseph.
Okay, Joseph.
Pardon?
Go ahead. You're live.
I'm on live.
Joseph, you're live. Do you want to contribute?
I'm not. In fact, I'm not. I did not hear the what is on ground now.
Okay, I'll just listen. Just keep on watching, and then you can call us back, right? Okay, Joseph. Thank you very much. Whoa. Some people seem to just have our numbers.
And you
hold on tight, and you just got it down. I gotta call that number. You don't even know what we're talking about. Nice one. Okay, listen, we're still on the topic, and we still have. Yes, we still have about half an hour, so you can still make that call back. Right, comrade. Beyond fake news, though, they're also talking about this issue of patriotism. And you see, how easy is it for you to be that patriotic when you see that the people who are in charge of you seem to have, amassed all the advantages to themselves and don't seem to be very, very particular about any of the responsibilities. Could that make you patriotic?
Indeed, patriotism is actually difficult in a country like Nigeria, where you provide your electricity, you provide your road, you in some instance, in fact most of the time you are the one to provide your security, you are the one to provide water, you are the one to virtually everything. Education, if you don't go to a private school, you will not be educated, or your child will not be educated. That is a problem. Like in FCT today, we have the primary schools teachers on strike since the last time, and the school have resumed right now, and nobody is talking about how are these people going to go back to class? And then some of these children are at home. So the only option left for parents now is to sponsor them in a private school, and that is expensive. And then in such kind of environment, how are you now going to be talking about patriotism? People are looking at how are they going to survive in the first place. How am I going to see the next day? We have had some people living in some of these volatile areas where there is insecurity. They will be telling you that we are when it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, we are thinking about where are we going to hide at for that night, so that we will remain alive the next day, because they're not thinking about nobody is thinking about their safety and things like that. And once you have that kind of environment, how are you going to actually have those people to be that patriotic, as it were? So patriotism does not happen in a vacuum. Patriotism is something that is you can only talk about your country really when your country actually cares about you. So we should that's why we were talking about a short while ago that the shift has gone from governance to politicking. So, and that is what makes most people to begin to wonder whether those people who are in government are there for the people or for themselves. So, and when we don't have people who are there for the people, it is difficult for the people to be patriotic, because they will believe that, oh, these people don't care about us. What they are doing is something that they are trying to better their own life and better their life, the life of their associates. Why should I now be the one to sacrifice for the country? And that is what we are having. That's why we are having the situation we are having most of the time, where people hardly sacrifice for the country. So it is there is this maxim. They will tell you it's not what your country will do for you, but what you will do for the country. But they forget that such systems under which that statement was made is a system where you have the government activities are streamlined, everything is streamlined, the way things are working, there's social security in that kind of environment. There are all kinds of incentives for the citizen. The citizen can go to school. We're not thinking about, oh, I am having a saloon, for instance. We are not thinking about going to buy a generator to power your saloon, because you know that there's 24-hour electricity supply. So when people are talking about don't think about what the country can do for you, think about what you can do for the country. It's because the country itself has laid a foundation for the people to now know that, look, the government is caring about us. It is our own turn to now look at how we are going to make our country a better place. So patriotism does not happen in a vacuum, and
patriotism does not happen in a vacuum.
Look at it.
We really need to begin to look at it.
Yeah.
I always find that statement very painful, and those are the kind of things that we thrown at you from the very same people who are not even thinking about the country.
Yeah.
We the citizens have to keep telling the leaders, put Nigeria first.
Yeah.
You don't even seem to be thinking about what you can do for your country. What are you doing for your country? Every next possible step is all about
Nigeria,
myself, and
serious problem.
So, I mean, we have another caller on the line. Mazi, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, Master.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Mazi.
You have mentioned your name. Just go ahead.
When we look at the national daily that you told us this morning, now, one will start asking, is this a vibration or whether it's another family? Well, to me, let me look at only the issue of this ceremony coming up in Attah State today, as the people was just talking. It is not a question of the campaign of moving to another party that's not the problem. But the thing is this, we should look at the development of this concept. We should look at the progress of this concept. We should look at the success of this. We should look at the people behind us coming, this youth and the young ones. What is their future? What type of legacy are we leaving to them? What type of roadmap are we giving to them? I think everybody saw what happened in India over the week. I think we saw the decisive action the Indian Prime Minister took against the Pakistan. I think I saw that all of them to leave their country because they cannot come to their country and make the Indian country as their own. As it's no man's land. That is what they did. Now we come back to Nigerian politics. It is true. The way we are looking at the politics, people are laughing. It doesn't mean that when you come to an office, sit down, package it you want to pack and go. That is what to tell you. If you go to all the 36 states of this country, including Abuja, there is no state or even the federal sector, you will not get up to 100 people in that state or in that state that their own income, but not their own account, is not higher than the budget of a state. Now what do you do? Now look at the World Bank, what they said over the weekend. The World Bank and the international the World Bank is what they said. That Nigeria is one of the richest countries talk about in the continent. Now the people in the country now 80% or 20% are suffering inside that is excess. How do we solve the problem? How do we develop the country? Is it because the capital promoter, when you go to a place, you pack money that belongs to 400 people and pack into their pocket at the time and start laying foundation for your students yet unborn? Well, vanity upon vanity or vanity. Good morning, man to come for commodity and others. Everybody.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Right. Earlier on, we were just discussing about this issue of patriotism because that is one of the focus topics this morning that the Right Honourable Speaker is going to address. Well, like I was saying, I find it very, very annoying when you now say, oh, don't think about what your country can do for you, begin to think of what you can do for your country, which was a statement made by an American president having put everything in place, like you said, right down to Social Security. So every American citizen has a Social Security number. So if you're up to such and such a certain age, you're unemployed. Even
I, as a young lad, you still have benefits. Parents have great benefits for having you as a
parents are entitled to this loan for your schooling.
For your schooling.
In fact, my friend, because she's an American citizen, and she got married to let me say, Nigerian Jackpot person. So so he's based in America, and they met and married, and in the course of time, the marriage ended. Well, she is entitled to, she just has to write that, she's a divorcee, so she's a single parent looking after the children. 1, 2, 3, the children's education, the government will now shoulder, the school bus, everything. They just, they're very interested in every aspect. Who wouldn't want to do something about that? And let's look at the reverse, because this particular example always stands out for me concerning that statement. You remember when Boko Haram was devastating swaths of people, picked up 267 Chibok girls, Dapchi, all these people, and then an American citizen was picked up. My God, the speed. The guy was returned. He was returned instantly because the American government cannot see one citizen, But here we are. You're telling us. No, look at it now. We should be While they are slaughtering this morning, I'm mentioning the news, how many more were slaughtered today? Okay, what is the new deployment of troops to Benue, where these people were slaughtered this morning? As I'm speaking to you with the news, have I brought you the news that, extra troops have been sent to Benue? No, we just have the National Security Advisor coming on the normal condolence visit, and once he goes, the thing increases. Then, my patriotism, I have to look after myself now. I will turn to self-help, because I think I'm alive to live. I'm not alive to die. You understand? I've got to live the lifespan I have till, it's time for me to go. So that is what is on the minds of Nigerians. So we're happy that, we have a program like this that can address situations in that direction. Okay, so what else was he saying? Okay, we're going to look at the issue of a presentation of a mock meal. So just should I say People's Parliament?
Yeah, People's Parliament, so to say, where you now have somebody say, we say, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Right.
motions will be moved and then debated, motions moved, seconded, debated, and then the speaker will now rule on those motions and things like that. So it is going to be a very, very fantastic experience for some people who have not, who don't actually understand the legislative workings, because one of the major aspects of legislative workings that most people are not aware is what happens at closed door meetings, when when everybody who is not a legislator is outside of the room. What happens there? How is the horse trading done? How do they, after during a rowdy session, a matter will be raised and there's a rowdy session, and they will say, oh, we go into closed door, and then after the closed door, when they are at the end of the day, everybody comes out, everybody will come out smiling, what actually transpired. So some of these things could be what we are going to see happen in this kind of program, and that is why it is very, very interesting, especially for young people who will be one of those people who will be having first-hand understanding of some of the dynamics of the workings of a legislative house. Right.
Another thing though, the House of Reps is actually like they are supposed to be like closest to the people, maybe after the local government chairman. Yeah. Some people are wondering, do we really need a bicameral legislative the system we're operating now? Some people are saying, why don't we just do away with?
I can tell you that the problem is not about the system of government that we run. It's about the attitude of the people who call themselves the leaders of the people.
Look, some people are saying, let me just cut you there. It's not about, even forget the attitude, even if it were one side, wouldn't it be the attitude?
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is now, it is just, to some people are saying, it's just so expensive. It is pocket heavy now. Since, let's say, those in reps have this attitude, those in Senate, they have attitude. Yeah. So why don't we just make it one, and then, we don't have to, feed so many fat cats? Because if you look at it, when they're screening, let me just take Senate.
Yeah.
They're showing the Senate, and you see so many empty seats. If you like, you come. Yeah. If you like, you don't come. You have 15 million is not in your pocket. It's exactly voluntary service. Not imagine me next Monday morning I didn't show up here. What will come up live? But if you like, you come in. If you like, you don't come in. This 15 million per week is tucked in. Talk of all the other benefits. So they're flying in. Isn't it too expensive then? If it's going to be like that, some people are saying, look, why don't we just have a unicameral system? So we have either we're going to have the reps. It's just going to be the reps. If it's Senate, let's just have Senate. Then we know we're pushing all that money to you. Change your car every day if you like. Do whatever. It's just for those number of people. What do you think about that suggestion?
Yeah, it is okay. Okay, we can try it and see how it works out. But I can tell you that state houses of assembly, they are unicameral, and I have not seen anything change at the state level. So it is not just about the unicameral or bicameral or whatever camera.
What will change is the money saved. Now that's what I'm trying to tell you.
The states saved any money?
They states have 20-something people depending on the local government. They are not saving my point, James. I'm saying that you are saying that the states are unicameral and they haven't saved money, but there are 20. Let's say a state with 28 local government areas. Yeah. We have 28 members of the House of Representatives, House of Assembly members. But I'm saying at the National Assembly, we will have 28 reps. We still have 100 and something senators from the same areas. So that's what I'm saying now. So what we're saying is, since we have the same people here, the same people there, from the same areas, why don't some people are saying, make it one? Since both of you, all of you are busy draining, pulling down a whole lot of money, and the output is, what is the measurable output? For instance, now, all the promises about fuel, has there been any impact on prices? The cost of your transport here this morning was just the same as it was last year, if not higher. So that's what I'm trying to put across to you, that there's this suggestion that, listen, why don't we cut it down to one house? That way, all the cost for the same legislative activities, it will go to first, the second, third reading in reps, come up again to Senate first, second reading, third, pass, go to presidency for signing. Why do we have to have so many people do the whole same thing? That's what some people are suggesting.
Yeah, I understand.
You get the point now. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
That's why I said it is something that could be experimented.
Okay, you think it's something that
could be experimented, but you know what is there is that I think the intendment in a presidential system is for checks and balances, proper checks and balances, and then proper representation, proportional representation, where, because it's unlike the parliamentary system of government, where you have the representation in a parliamentary system is far better than you have in a presidential system. In the presidential system, you have fewer members of parliament and things like that. And then but in this in the legislative chamber, like we have it, two legislative chambers here, you have a more robust debate. That is the intendment, and I think that is why we adopted the presidential system and adopted everything that has to do with presidential system. It's not only even the legislature. We have also been asked to find our own kind of presidential system, a homegrown presidential system that meets our own peculiarities as a people. So people are also talking about the kind of democracy that we practice, that it should be homegrown democracy, not just about the democracy as is practiced elsewhere. So these are some of the things that are coming up, and I don't believe that there is any harm in trial, if we can deal with some of these suggestions were going to help us. There's this confab 2014 confab that it was discarded, so to say. There were a lot of resolutions that I believe that if it had been implemented by now, Nigeria would have moved beyond some of these issues that we are seeing beclouding our polity and making us not to move forward as a country. So but politics has a way in Africa undermining everything. People, because I was not involved, because it was not my administration, and then things like that, I cannot implement it because I'll be giving credit to someone else. And this is, we forget that it is the people that matter. It is not about your credit, credit or who gets credit. In fact, you even get credit for being the one that implements a program that you believe that is good and right for the benefit of the people.
And plus, you will even get knocks, because when we look around and see all these white elephant projects, so to speak, abandoned projects, okay, well, you already know that this project is has a lifespan of about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then constitutionally, you're allowed to 2 terms of 4 years.
Yeah.
So even if the person started the first day he was sworn in, he won't be able to complete it on the last day he's going.
Sure.
You now come in and something at such a high stage of completion, you abandon it
because it's not your
initiative. Don't you think people will still be giving you abuses? And look at how you abandon such and such and so. So I mean, this issue of I've got to take credit because it's got to be, you have to have your own signature. What is that about?
Signature project,
legacy project. Signature project. Is that what you came here for? So that seems to be all that.
The leader, anybody who is elected into office is elected to govern.
Right.
You are elected to govern, and when you talk about governance, the people are the priorities. It's not about any other person. The focus should be on the people, the electorate. How do I make the electorate happy? All the struggle to bribe and get some person and the other to help make sure that you win election is because people don't think about governance. There's no, even if I did not vote for you and I see that you're performing, I'm benefiting from what your government is doing. Why should I say I will vote against you? Because you are giving me what I want, and that's why I did not want you, because I didn't believe you were going to give me what I wanted. And here we are, and you are giving it to me. So why would I not vote for you? So this is what governance is all about, and that is what the people in government don't understand. They continue to do politicking with everything, play politics with everything, and trying to make us believe that we are working, even though we know that you are not working. And when you are working, you don't need to tell the people. The people knows. They will know that they will look at you as they can point at XYZ project that is within their community and say this is what came to us as a result of what your government is doing, or because you are representing us at Abuja, as so to say. So
exactly.
These are the things. So you don't come and start doing billboard, to tell the people what you are doing. They will see it if you are doing it.
No, that's so then you come and say you will need continuity, 20 something. It's continuity of your chopping. But if you have been performing, then we will want the continuity of your performance. So that is exactly, let's just have your last words as we wrap up, because we're totally out of time at the moment.
Well, I want to say that the Speaker of the House of Representatives should do more of this. Let there be continuity in this kind of engagement, so that the gap between the electorate and the leaders will be bridged. Because at the end of the day, there will be a better understanding, a better coordination, a better assimilation of what the government is doing. And then at the end of the day, it is still our leaders that will get credit for that as part of what is called good governance.
Right, our leaders are going to get the credit for good governance. Okay, like I said, today it's going to be hashtag connecting leaders. It's going to be hashtag inspiring change. We're talking about hashtag Speaker New Media Exchange, and it's going to be streamed live. There's live streaming on all his personal platforms and all his official platforms, talking about the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin. It's streaming on Facebook, it's streaming on Twitter, former X, is streaming on Instagram. So the title is Speaker's New Media Exchange 2025. So as soon as we step out of this studio, we are going online to have a spy of it, and that will be very good for you, especially if you are a Nigerian youth. This is the time for you to participate and also lend your voice, let your voice be heard. All right, so that's a novel, brand new initiative of Nigeria's Speaker, in such a way that there's a gap bridging between the governed and those in government, between the government and the governed. All right, so that's what we're telling you. Like I told you on KAFTAN television, we tell you the news before all others bring it to you. It's ongoing at the moment. You'll be seeing it in tomorrow morning's headlines. For now, we've run out of time. So I'm wishing you a very pleasant Monday morning, a very prosperous and a profitable week, and a beautiful day. Like we always say in KAFTAN television, imagine a beautiful world. I'm Mikky Attah. Bye-bye now.